Joe Biden resigned from the presidential campaign and caught the Republicans flat-footed as Kamala Harris burst onto the scene in what can only be described as a surge. In only 24 hours, she raised $100 million. Trump's response? Meh, I don't care. We're going to steal this election anyway. In a little over 48 hours, Vote.org registers over 38,000 voters, most of them under the age of 35. Trump's response? Meh, I don't care. We're going to steal this election anyway. I've got my boys on the Supreme Court to do my business. Then Kamala Harris makes her first public appearance and reminds her audience and Trump that she is a prosecutor, and Trump freaks out. Because when push comes to shove, that's all this election is about for Trump, avoiding criminal prosecution. And we all know where Trump goes when he freaks out. Fox and Friends.
F-R-I-E-N-D, you are my best. F-R-I-E-N-D, friend.
That she's the candidate, and she's going, they're almost identical speeches. This is what she's doing. She's going after you this way. Watch.
Before I was elected vice president, before I was elected United States Senator, I was elected Attorney General of the state of California, and I was a courtroom prosecutor before then. I took on perpetrators of all kinds. Predators who abused women, fraudsters who ripped off consumers, cheaters who broke the rules for their own gain. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type. And in this campaign, I promise you, I will proudly put my record against his any day of the week.
There's the attack. What's the retort?
Well, I think it's disgusting, and I get a kick out of one thing. They say, sir, be nice. You just got hit with a bullet. Maybe he's changed. Be nice. And I'd love to be nice, but I'm dealing against real garbage. When you hear that, they've weaponized the justice system against me. They've indicted me 4 times. They've pushed other lawsuits onto me. It's never happened in this country. This is like a third world country, what they've done, a banana republic. Every single court case that I have is pushed on by them. They've taken the Justice Department, used local DAs, and used local attorney generals. Every single case I have, and I just won the big one in Florida, that Biden didn't win. What happened to Biden is they called him incompetent. He can run for president, but he's incompetent to represent himself in court. But just so you know, they push all these cases on me. They're the ones that started. And then they say, I'm a prosecutor. He's a criminal. They're the ones. Every case is started by them, and I'm winning the cases. But every case, and the big one I just won in Florida was just thrown out by a brilliant judge, to be honest with you.
Eileen Cannon.
And it's disgraceful. It's disgraceful that they can do this. It's called weaponization, and it does happen in other countries.
Mr. President.
And there you have it in a nutshell. Trump at his most eloquent, calling someone else garbage. And his friends sit around and condone his 6-year-old behavior. Occupy Democrats would like to apologize to all 6-year-olds for the unfavorable comparison. Harris talks substance. Trump resorts to name-calling in his rambling signature style that even Fox and Friends have had to learn how to cut it off before it's half an hour later. And of course, what's a Trump diatribe without him talking about how unfair it all is? And what's actually funny here is if Trump would just change 2 little letters, he would be telling the truth. He is the most prosecuted man. And do you know how to gauge when you're in big political trouble? When even Fox and Friends feels compelled to ask you about your choice of VP.
It's just about a week ago that you selected JD Vance to be your running mate. Now we know that Kamala, at that point you didn't know that Kamala Harris was going to be your main opponent, but now she is. And I'm sure you've seen there have been a couple of stories out that say they wonder whether or not you feel you made the right pick, given the fact you didn't realize you were going to be running against a woman who might now try to pick a running mate to deliver a key state or a demographic or anything like that. You're still 100% behind JD Vance, right?
He's fantastic. Yeah, no, it wouldn't have mattered. And I thought she was probably going to happen anyway, because I knew there was a palace coup going on. And I assumed that she'd be probably getting it. She
Right.
had the advantage. So, no, it wouldn't matter. No, he's doing a fantastic job. He goes around. He's essentially for the worker. He's seen the worker be horribly abused and taken advantage of, and he's for the worker. That's what his book is about. That's where his feelings are.
Gotcha.
No, he's for the worker. No, he's great. He's doing a great job, and he's been very well received.
The thing you have to love about Fox asking Trump if Vance was the right decision is that several sources have reported that it was Don Jr. who pushed Vance into the role. So if it's a Don Jr. decision, you know it's a stupid decision. Oh, and P.S., it was. But that's not the only spin Trump has to accomplish. Prior to the attempted assassination, Trump was losing ground by being tied to Project 2025, and that's not going away anytime soon. Naturally, this means the friends have to give him an opportunity to spin it.
They keep on tying you, whether it's yesterday's testimony when they were talking to Christopher Wray, or whether it's Kamala Harris on the stump. They keep on tying you to Project 2025, which is a 900-page tome put out by the Heritage Foundation. What is your response to what's in it, and what would you like to say about the role it's playing in your campaign?
It's a group of very, very conservative people. They wrote a document that many of the points are fine. Many of the points are absolutely ridiculous. I have nothing to do with the document. I've never seen the document. I've seen certain things that are said in it. And it's a group of very conservative people that probably like me, but it doesn't matter because it doesn't speak for me. They wrote something that I disagree with in many cases, and in some cases you agree. But it's like a group of radical left people that write something, and, you know, people get angry by it. This is a document I know nothing about. It's called Project 25. I heard about it a week ago, and has nothing to do with me whatsoever. But, of course, our friends that are Democrats, radical left Democrats, they take the document, which is, I guess, pretty big and thorough, and they scour through it. And anything that's bad in there or that's a little bit less than mainstream, they take it and they make a big deal out of it. Donald Trump and Project 25. Are you ready? I know nothing about Project 25. I haven't seen the document. I don't intend to really see the document. And it's a group of people that got together that wrote some kind of a dream document for them. But it has absolutely nothing to do with me. And it's just disinformation, Brian, by the Democrats. It's pure disinformation.
And then what would be a trip to Fox and Friends without more signature bravado that makes no sense whatsoever?
We have lawyers at every poll booth. We have, that's what in fact, my instruction, we don't need the votes. I have so many votes.
And this is Trump's political genius at work. He's going to be the candidate that redefines how you win an election by telling voters not to vote. So just keep showing up to Fox and Friends, Donnie boy. That worked out so well for you in 2020, because the more you ramble, the more you are fawned over by sycophants, the more you drive independent voters away. So in the words of the political luminaries from the land of the Zeppelin, I'm Robert Plant, pretending to be Anthony Vincent Gallo for Occupy Democrats.